Hey girls. In my most recent video, my wing video, I was verbally accosted. I received this comment and I said, oh, well, let me address this. Oh, I think it started raining. Hold on, because there's a snowstorm. I'm scared. Wait a minute. Uh-oh, yep. Okay, let's see what happens, y'all. Everybody acting a fool. We gonna see what happens. Whew, I'm scared. So boom. After I caught my breath, I said, oh, I think we need to have a conversation. And it's a conversation I don't mind having because, ooh, no, it's not. I'm scared of her. Uh-oh. Can you hear that? Wait a minute. I'm scared. Okay, well, so boom. What happened? So first of all, I'm not managed by anyone. Let's get that clear. And second of all, direction. What aren't you getting, babe? I am quite literally going with the flow. All right? I know that we're all being smothered in these overly curated performances online. And it's really set the bar for the way that you look at other creators, including myself. And it also has informed the way that you consume content, because I think there is an expectation for everybody to be operating at the same level. But I want to remind you that we are all living different lives and we're all in different phases of our lives. So let me remind you, or maybe introduce you to the phase that I'm in. This will be my 10th year on YouTube. 10. I started this channel December 2016. My 10 years will be Christmas of this year. I have consistently uploaded content on this channel for the last 10 years. Have I taken some breaks? Absolutely. A couple of months. But that's nothing in the grand scheme of things, bitch. I've been on this motherfucker, okay? And I have to let you know something. The naivete, okay? I just love the word naivete. But the naivete that once existed in me as a creator, as a person who was on the internet, it is no longer there. I know exactly what the internet is. I know what the internet is capable of. And I'm very intentional about the way that I use it. What I've noticed over the years is people's sense of entitlement grows. It doesn't stop. It don't matter how many boundaries you put up. It doesn't matter how clear you are about your boundaries. There will always be somebody who feels entitled to access to you, and also entitled to your process, and also entitled enough to question you and what the fuck you got going on. I have decided to be very choosy about what folks have access to. And that's my right. We all have that right, and we all should exercise that right a little bit more. And maybe if there were more people flexing their privacy muscle, it wouldn't feel personally offensive when you see me do it. Maybe privacy isn't the issue that you have with me though. Maybe it's that I'm just not making the content you want to see. And what kills me about that is that there is so many options out there where you can get whatever your heart desires. If you want to see fitness, if you want to see hair, if you want to see makeup, if you want to see luxury, if you want to see relatable, there is so much out there. You do not have to feel limited to watching the dog. But if you do, I need you to understand that right now in my life, I have learned what balance looks like for me, okay? And you all kind of get a seat to watch what that looks like. You are quite literally watching my process. I don't have the same access to you that you do to me. And so what I'd hope is that in this exchange, you'll afford me a little bit of grace, because it's a bit of an unbalanced relationship. You know a lot about me. I know nothing about you. And there is nobody watching you and questioning what you're doing and how you're doing it, or making suggestions on how you should do it the next time. Whatever you want to watch, you can. Whatever you want to hear, you can listen to. I don't feel like I have to explain myself to anybody, but I enjoy the conversation and I appreciate transparency which is why I go live so often. And I feel like that's kind of where the gap exists from people who comment things like that. You must not follow me on TikTok, because the people who do are fulfilled because they are getting so much of me. I go live on TikTok at least 3 times out the week, most times more. And in those lives, I am in real time discussing where I'm at, what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, what I'm working on. We talk about surface level shit and we talk about deep shit. And I just feel like if you are going to be involved and invested in me as a creator, then you do have to go the extra mile to see me on different platforms, because there are other platforms where I am existing and offering more. YouTube currently for me is a space where I am figuring out what type of content I want to put on here on a regular basis. I have communicated that multiple times, and I know that it was very disorienting for a lot of people to have to deal with the switch from me posting here every Monday, an hour plus long vlog, to me no longer doing that and uploading those vlogs on Patreon. I understand that. However, those vlogs do still exist. Those conversations that you are used to seeing, hearing, and watching, they do still exist. They're just on another platform. If you don't want to go on that other platform, I 1000% understand that. But in the meantime, you feel what I'm saying? You're going to have to respect what's going on over here while I figure this out. Because that's all I'm doing over here is figuring this the fuck out. Everybody has different goals. And this is going to take it back to what I was bringing up originally about how there are so many creators out here doing different stuff, and there is a naiveness that no longer exists in me. So I can't perform the way that you want me to perform, okay? There are some people who are getting on YouTube for the first time this year. Their energy is going to be different. The type of content they're going to put out is going to be different. If that is the energy that you're looking for, you gotta go over there to get it. You're not gonna get that from me. I've been doing this too long. The glimmer is gone, okay? What I know to be true is that putting too much into this and not creating balance in my real life creates burnout. Overperforming ultimately ends up making a bitch inauthentic. Performing in general is going to contribute to your inauthenticity. It is going to have you question yourself, like, wait, I'm realizing I don't do anything unless the camera's on. I don't leave my house. I'm not talking. I'm not hanging out with my friends. I'm not really doing anything for me. All I'm doing is working. I'm not that girl. Stuff is getting done in this motherfucker, okay? Stuff that can't always be filmed for your viewing pleasure. There are parts of my life that are reserved only for me. And that should be respected and understood, because that's what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And I expect that to be respected and considered just on a human level. Somebody asked me how I felt about allowing people to watch me in my process, growing and transitioning and all of that. And I have to say, it feels very purposeful. This feels like what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. Learning, sharing, this is my role in my community, talking about my experiences and encouraging thought in others. I know that I'm doing that through this process. The thing that I can't manage is the people who feel entitled to more, okay? Who need to know more about the process, who want the full inside on everything. I can't do anything with that, because now it's getting stupid. You know what I'm saying? You have to check yourself when you get into that mode of feeling like, okay, I get to ask this person who I don't know, who I never met, or maybe you have met me once or twice, but like, you don't know me. There's something that needs to be checked if you get to starting to feel like you can get out your face and talk to me in a wild way. We can't do it. It just, you get nothing like that. Sister, little girl, who watches Salt Lake City, little girl, Mary. But yeah, it is such a mind fuck, because I am allowing people into my life, and I understand that by doing that, you allow commentary. And what I'm always hoping is that in this exchange where I'm showing so much of myself and my thoughts and sharing all of this with you all for as long as I have, my assumption is that out of respect, the exchange will be grace. It'll be understanding and consideration. It'll be respect. And that might be a lot to ask for from strangers, but you know, I hope that that's what a bitch can get. I hope that that's what I can get. Because I really hate seeing stupid ass comments on my shit. It's really, really aggravating. Okay? While I am transitioning in this particular landscape, okay, specifically on YouTube. And let me explain this transition, by the way. Because maybe some of y'all don't get it. But like, typically all I was posting on YouTube were the vlogs. Now I have to come up with more content. So I've never been a super content heavy bitch. That's never been my bag, ever. I've never been that creator who was just pushing out a whole bunch of different types of content for real, for real. It was very focused on beauty, you know what I'm saying? Hair, makeup, skin, vlogs. Even with that, it's like my views on consumerism are very clear. I'm not trying to contribute to the overconsumption that I see existing. I cannot get on here telling y'all every week, oh, buy this new thing, or oh, I got this new thing, or I got the hey, I'm not even buying shit like that. I can't even keep up with that type of vibe because that's not how I'm existing in this world. I don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the get ready with me's and anything that has to deal with products, I be a little turned off from doing that often, okay? And then people are pushing out content like this, and it's because they're using AI. They're on ChatGPT asking ChatGPT for content ideas, how they should shoot it, what it should look like, what they should say. Y'all gotta know that that's happening, okay? Not only are they using AI, and this is not a shot, this is just me trying to get you to understand that this is a real person handling this, you know, in a real way. I don't have any assistance. So like, I'm not a machine. You feel me? My grandmother passed at the end of 2024, and I've been mourning her death ever since. And if you've ever lost someone, especially someone you're close to, you understand that that's not something you just wake up one day and you're like, oh, I'm over it. No, it's not like that. And so, you know, I bring that up because while I'm figuring out how I want to show up in my work, I'm also just figuring out how to exist in a world without someone who's always been in my world, you know? And that's not the only family shit I got going on. There's so much that I do not share. And so it's just like, you know, always consider the fact that I'm a real ass bitch. I'm a real person with real shit, real family, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to figure it out just like everybody the fuck else. And I'm not gonna be going out my way to try to fulfill expectations I don't even know exist. I would have never guessed that somebody would have had a problem with me putting out my wig video. I would have never guessed it. I thought we were having a good time. I got a wig because I want to wear that wig. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with getting a wig and talking about it. So that really took me aback, baby. What you're going to see on this channel is me doing the things that I'm fucking doing. And lately, that has been exactly what you've seen. And what you haven't seen is on Patreon. Because I should be paid for that work. Period. And mama don't feel no way about that. I understand everybody can't go and everybody ain't there. I'm okay with that, okay? You'll get there when you get there. But, yeah, you know, part of allowing people to watch my process is also realizing that some people are moving, well, people are just moving at their own pace of understanding. So I know that my views on consumption have changed. I know that the way that I speak is different. I am growing up. I've grown up with a lot of y'all. Some of y'all been watching me since middle school, and y'all are grown women now. Like that, I don't take that. That's not light. We've spent a lot of time together in this motherfucker. Why the fuck would you expect me to be the same bitch you met 10 years ago? You know what I'm saying? I am a grown lady. So the way that I operate is very much that of a grown person. Somebody who is working on routines, healthy routines, trying to stay consistent in them hoes, making sure I'm taking care of myself. What I told y'all, this is a one-woman show in this bitch. I make shit move around here. Me and only me. So everything I do is intentional. And if that means I have to take some time to figure some shit out, then I have to take the time to figure it out. So, you know, let me figure it the fuck out. Let me figure it out. I'm not on your tail while you figuring your shit out, girl. That's so silly to do that to somebody. It's just foolish. So, yeah, girl, I really just wanted to come on here and say that, you know, and just remind y'all that I am figuring this out, okay? And while I'm figuring it out, I also have very clear boundaries based on who I am as a person, where I land ethically and morally. And I have a lot of pride in that. And I am proud of myself for having standards and having boundaries. A lot of people don't. And I'm not going to waver on that to try to, like I said, fulfill expectations from anybody. So, you know, if you're going to be here, be here. Don't be weird though, okay? Anyway, that's the end of the video, girl. I hope you get where I'm coming from. Yeah. Love ya! Bye.